think I'm playing on this track right here, nah. It's a full-grown man right here.
No cowards, no excuse, you understand?
As we understand.
It's an event every time we come through. Commanding General YAHANNA and this heavy hitting crew. Real niggas with an attitude. How about you? I repeat, real niggas with an attitude. How about you? The Chronicles of the King, 69 to the present. Hardcore Nazarenes, we ain't never been a peasant. Like the ghetto was a present, holding everything pleasant in the Most High's present. It's silver and gold is precious. They thought it was effervescent. Get in class, learn your lesson. Out the belly of the beast will increase. At least observe the feast of Yahweh. Eat some lamb, make connections. He's a little sanctuary, no question. We ain't ever been crabs in the barrel. This is life under Pharaoh. From a lifestyle apparel to walk in the straight narrow. More fight than your average battle for the price of a sparrow. Using practical knowledge, not just the narrow. This is ice in the mirror. They cutting us like the grass, keep plucking us out the past, yet punish us out the ass. I tell my people that love them about the criminal justice, about the past. Then we stuff in the ego. These vultures are evil. Just look at what they done to our people. Covered up the face of the judges with paint off the easel. I be meditating terrorists and deliver my keynote. U.P.K, we got diesel. No cowards forever. We go while you use us nice. We bringing back the Lord's nation with much long suffering. The camp is in concentration. In spite of the correlations, they faggots in formation. They be taking an evil. We bout the stage and invasion. We got the streets in a rage. Once the priest hit the pavement, vengeance from the Lord is the white man payment. The prophets of Yahweh ain't nothing to fucking play with. Some of you gone lukewarm, my niggas stay lit. Y'all complacent, we stay spitting yoga fire in your faces. Free in the flock of the slaughter from out of this matrix. The definition of racist is believing you're on top. And as a matter of fact, we got that position every lock. It shouldn't come as a shock. SHALAM won't stop when we come back to our power. Who wanna run with the bumper climb? We keep the summer hot, winter on icicle. You get that spiritual power, ain't gotta buy a pistol. Ripping bodies, caught by the crystal. No harm, you're struck by a missile. You serve Yahweh, you're invincible. Gotta be one of the 12 tribes of Israel, a nation of the God indivisible. Our power is critical, from analog to digital. We coming back. U.P.K ain't running, but we running that pay your tithes with that money, yeah. Put on the dummy hat, thinking it's cool. We're not hosting an intergalactic character. We're torn, erased off one of his people for rulership. U.P.K gon' be ruling shit. Yahweh is ruling with an iron rod. The only dialogue is kind out of one kind. You don't like it? You could die a fugitive and vagabond. Me, I'ma have cattle and a catalog of slaves. Tell the nations get in shape. Otherwise we do nuking them. They gonna build Jerusalem. Christians would call it safe. You can call it what you want, but them roads better be gold paved. Straight out of these OKs. 1,000 years of sin, picking cotton, no shit. Finger pricking, blood dripping from all the thorns. I'll be keeping the bench warm. You've been warned before they disappear. You've been warned.
Rolling hard, wherever I be rolling hard. Trials and tribulations in my life got me rolling hard. Woke up, Lord bless me with another day. Eat shit, shower, and be on my way. Jump in the two-door, Monte Carlo, solo, with a fofo on my way to get the dough, yo. If you don't work, then you don't eat. Don't be scared to walk through life when you got feet. You gotta run a race, it's a track meet. Can't trust nobody on the street, so you pack heat. heat. Just got a phone call, my homie I grew up with dead. And last night my other partner had his door kicked in by Fed. Cricket gospel to your hood and Huntley steps. Searching till they find your stash box where the gun is kept. I ain't never slept, some dream of fairy tale crime. The judge ain't giving no breaks, he giving jail time. I'ma put my trust and faith in the Lord. Never scarred on the boulevard, always rolling hard. I'm rolling hard, rolling hard. Rolling hard. Forever I be rolling hard. Trials and tribulations in my life got me rolling hard, got me rolling hard, rolling hard, got me rolling hard, got me rolling hard. I believe in this truth, I'll never stop. Gun to my head, knife to my throat, I'll never stop. Ain't eat or drink nothing, I'll never drop. Rapping words over beats like this, I'll never flop. Pick up your cross, follow YAHANNA. Living righteous now, that old wicked man had to die. I testify the white man, the devil, he a lie. He the judge sitting in court to make your mama cry. Christianity had me traumatized. I'll never water down the truth, I can't compromise. I love the Most High more than my own children. My sons and daughters, they hate me, just imagine the feeling. Pain hurts so deep, cut like a machete. Prepare your soul for temptation, you better get ready. I'ma put my trust and faith in the Lord. Never scored on the boulevard, always rolling hard. I'm rolling hard, rolling hard. Rolling hard. Whatever I be rolling hard. Trials and tribulations in my life got me rolling hard, got me rolling hard, rolling hard, got me rolling hard, got me rolling hard. If it ain't one thing, it's 5 or 6. That president gon' cause a race war through politics. The way they treat my Mexican brothers on the border. Isaiah 14 and 21 prepare slaughter. Babylon falling, everything gon' flip. Every day of my life I pray for rulership. I'ma put my trust and faith in the Lord. Never scarred on the boulevard, always rolling hard. I'm rolling hard, rolling hard. Rolling hard. Whatever I be rolling hard. Trials and tribulations in my life got me rolling hard, got me rolling hard, rolling hard, got me rolling hard, got me rolling hard.
All right. Let's get a Lord a hand. Let's clap it up. Shalom, Israel. We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, where we are led by the amazing Commanding General YAHANNA. You understand? And if you are not in the I.S.U.P.K, you are not in the truth. I.S.U.P.K is the home of the truth, and all of the other so-called Hebrew Israelite groups are not the truth. We are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. You understand? The men in the I.S.U.P.K are the only certified and ordained priests, the only certified priests and prophets ordained by the Most High to teach the truth about the Bible. You understand? We do so, you know what I'm saying, righteously under Commanding General YAHANNA. You know, today is Wednesday. This is the I.S.U.P.K Port Arthur / Beaumont Wednesday law class, where we study the laws, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? We study the laws, statutes, and commandments found in this book, the 1611 King James Bible, because the law, statutes, and commandments were only given to Israel, which are so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? This book, as well as the law, statutes, and commandments, are only for blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. The rest of the nations don't need the law, statutes, and commandments. they weren't given the law. They don't keep the law, but they weren't given the law in the first place. And so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, the Most High is our God, and He gave us the laws so that we will be a great nation above all other nations. That's why He gave them to us. He didn't give the game to anybody He didn't love. He loved us, which is why He gave us the law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? And on Wednesday on the law class, that's what we do. We study the scriptures that pertain to the law, statutes, and commandments. So we got our Israelite starter package, these 3 books. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the 1611 King James Bible, King James Apocrypha. So that's the second important book, because pretty much this is what this book lacks. The Apocrypha has scriptures, has books in it that were taken out of the ordinary Bible, the ordinary Holy Bible. So the Apocrypha is pretty much the Old Testament as well. You know what I'm saying? These 2 books are the complete King James Bible. You know what I'm saying? It has all of the books that we need from the Bible. We have our 1611 King James Holy Bible, our King James Apocrypha. And then we also carry this book. This is a Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. A Bible dictionary gives us the definitions of words that we find in the Bible that we need better understanding for. And these 3 books are, like my Adawan likes to call it, this is your Israelite starter package. In order to come back to your culture and realizing that you're an Israelite and trying to keep the law and study the scriptures, you know what I'm saying, you need these 3 books. That's what we use on these Wednesday classes. The title of today's class is keeping the Sabbath and high holy days. That's what we're going to go over today. You know what I'm saying? We're pretty much going to go over why we have to keep the Sabbath and how do we keep the Sabbath? So why do we have to keep it holy? Why do we have to observe the Sabbath to keep it holy? Well, first of all, we have to understand what is the Sabbath. And then we have to understand why do we have to keep the Sabbath and keep it holy. And then the high holy days, and we're going to have to understand what the high holy days are and how do we observe the high holy days. Because this is our culture. This was stripped away from us. So the ways of this world already tell you that the Sabbath is on Sunday. When we're going to find out today that the Sabbath is on Saturday, the 7th day. You know what I'm saying? Sunday will be the first day of the week. Monday will be the 2nd day of the week. Tuesday the 3rd. Wednesday the 4th. Then Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday, the 7th day of the week. Saturday is not the 6th day of the week. Sunday is not the 7th day of the week. You know what I'm saying? But this might be going in one ear, not the other, because I haven't began the lesson. You don't even know why the 7th day of the week has any importance. And that's what we're going to go over right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the scripture that why we're supposed to observe the Sabbath. Well, you know what? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look up Sabbath in our Bible dictionary. See what it has to say. I'm already sure that Sabbath is a derivative of a Hebrew word that the Hebrew word Shabbat, which means rest. And we'll have some understanding of why this word rest has something something of importance, so important that the Most High will make a law over it. But we're going to look up Sabbath in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. All right. This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary definition of Sabbath. Sabbath, the weekly day of rest and worship of the Jews. The Sabbath was instituted at creation. The story of creation, Genesis 1:1 through 2:3, closes with an account of God's hallowing of the 7th day, because on it he rested from his creative labors. There you have it. saying that's exactly what we're about to get into now. Well, I was gonna go to the Ten Commandments first, but I'm glad I looked that up because now I could go to with now that we know what the Sabbath is, I'm gonna go straight to the scriptures because the Bible dictionary said that it's pretty much the day the day of rest for the Jews because of respecting. Here, let me go back to it to read exactly what it says. The Sabbath was instituted at creation. The story of creation closes with an account of God's hallowing of the seventh day, because on it he rested from his creative labors. So this is the day of rest for the Jews. The Jews are God's chosen people, and God himself decided that when he created the whole earth and the heavens, it took him 6 days to do all that. And then on the seventh day, he saw that it was good and he rested. So he wanted everybody to rest on that seventh day, especially his chosen people, the children of Israel. Well, let's go to the scriptures and see what the scriptures say so we can read it exactly, you know what I'm saying, from the text. So we're going to Genesis 1 and 1 and 31. So 1 and 31, we know that Genesis 1 is when God created the earth and heavens. Just to give us some context of what the scripture we're about to read. So Genesis 1 and 1 all the way through 1 and 30. That's the first 6 days that God took when he created the heavens, then he created the earth, he created the land. First he created the waters, the heavens. He separated the firmament from the waters of the heaven to the waters of air on earth to the waters of the actual water on earth. Then he created the land and the grass. Then he created the beasts, and then the animals, the fowl and the birds and the fish and the insects and the creeping things. And then he created man. And then he looked at it all on the sixth day and said, "This is good." And he rested. That's what we're about to look at right now. I'm going to just go to Genesis 1 and 30 to give us a little bit of context. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 30. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. Verse 31. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. So he saw everything that he made, and this was at the sixth day, where I was looking back at everything the creating the heavens, the earth, and all of life on earth. It took 6 days to do this. So now we're going to go to Genesis 2 and 1, the next chapter. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 1. Thus the heavens and earth were finished, and all the host of them. Verse 2. And the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. Okay, so the seventh day he decided to rest. Verse 3. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. So when God made everything and decided to rest on that day, he made that day of rest sanctified. He made that a special day that everybody's supposed to rest on that day, or at least all of his followers, the people that believe that worship him, his children, especially the children of Israel, which are the people that follow him. So the children of Israel are to rest on the seventh day, the Sabbath. And now we're going to go to the book of Exodus, where it's actually written in the commandments of Moses that we're supposed to rest on this day. So we're going to Exodus 20 and 8. right. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 8. So just a little context of where we are now in the book of Exodus. We're reading the 10 Commandments. These are the 10 Commandments. These are the first laws written down to give to the people of Israel. So we have to remember that the laws were passed verbally before the 10 Commandments. You know what I'm saying? Cain and Abel, they knew which sacrifices to the Most High would be good or acceptable, and which sacrifices would not be acceptable. So some type of law had to be passed down from generation to generation. Also with Noah, you know what I'm saying? There was no 10 Commandments in the days of Noah, but Noah knew which animals were clean and which animals were unclean and putting into the ark. You know what I'm saying? So the law, statutes, and commandments were around before the 10 Commandments, but the 10 Commandments was the first time it was actually, you know what I'm saying, written down. It was jotted down. And actually the scriptures say that the 10 Commandments, those laws, those first 10 were written down by the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Lightning struck the tablet, and then that's what wrote the words on the tablet for the first 10 Commandments. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures says the finger of God, God's finger wrote the commandments. But we know that that's lightning. So these are the 10 Commandments that we're in right now on Exodus 20, and right now in 20 and 8, we're on the I want to say the 4th commandment. Here, let's quickly go over them. So the first commandment is that we shall have no other gods. That's the commandment number 1. The commandment number 2 is that we shall not make any other graven images, no idolatry. The third commandment is that we shall not take the Lord's name in vain. That's the third commandment. So first, no other gods, then no other graven images, then no take the Lord's name in vain. Then the 4th commandment is to remember the Sabbath and to keep it holy. So so we're in the 4th commandment. So I'm going to read it. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Verse 9. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. Verse 10. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. Verse 11. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them. Salakia, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. There you have it. And not only does it tell us what to do for this commandment, but it tells us why we need to keep this commandment. Because the Lord created everything and rested. He made that day that he rested holy. You know what I'm saying? He made that day sanctified. That's a special day. So we're supposed to rest on the Sabbath day, man. We're not supposed to do any servile work. Now with that, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pull a time where Christ was not conflicted, because Christ he the only time Christ ever conflicted was when Satan was trying to tempt him to pretty much give everything away. You know what I'm saying? Jump off of a cliff. And even still then he prevailed. You know what I'm saying? Our king is very hardcore, the most hardcore that is. But there's a time where the Pharisees and Sadducees, they tried to catch Christ up by doing because he appeared to have been doing work on the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? In today's time, you know what I'm saying, we're not supposed to do work on the Sabbath. The Sabbath is Saturday. But you know what I'm saying, you have to understand that we're in hell right now. So we're not in rulership. The nation of Israel is not in rulership. We are in captivity under the oppressor. And if the oppressor, if we have to work for our food to survive, the oppressor only gives us the day Saturday to work and no other days, then we have to, you know what I'm saying, work on that Saturday. Or if the oppressor says he's going to fire us if we don't work on Saturday, we worked on Friday and Monday and Tuesday, and we don't want to work Saturday, but the oppressor needs us to work for him on Saturday, and if we don't, he's going to fire us, and then we won't be able to survive. We'll work on Saturday. So we have to have some seasoning. We have to remember we have to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. You know what I'm saying? When the kingdom of heaven comes, when we're in the kingdom, we won't have to worry about nobody working on the Sabbath. We sure as hell won't be working, and even our manservants, like it said in the book of Exodus, our maidservant, our manservant, not even our cattle or our ox, our slaves are not going to be working. Nobody's going to be working on the Sabbath, man. And that's the way it's supposed to be, because God rested on the Sabbath and he made that day holy. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying, like I said, we're in hell, and you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I hate to sound Christian, but the Most High does know your heart, you know what I'm saying, in that particular instance. You know what I'm saying? If you're going ahead and trying to make some extra money and saying, oh yeah, I'll work on the Sabbath, yeah, or you can get me down for Saturday, I'll work that day. I want to work every day of the week. Then at that point, you're transgressing. If you're choosing to work on the Sabbath, then you're transgressing. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much the Most High doesn't honor that. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to say the Lord knows your heart, well, the Lord knows your heart in that instance also. And he knows that you're not trying to keep the Sabbath. You got to keep it holy, man. You have to rest on that day. In the I.S.U.P.K, we not only rest on that day, but we read the scriptures in Hebrew. We come back to our culture and respect our heritage and study. We study these scriptures in our native language, man. The Lashon Kodash, the Hebrew, every Saturday, man. We do that all across the nation, man. Sabbath service, man. That's how we keep it holy, man. But yeah, no servile work in this day. So now let me get into what I was talking about, where the Pharisees and Sadducees try to catch Christ up. Because, you know what I'm saying, we have to understand that there's pretty much there's weights to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before I began the lesson, that we're not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. You know what I'm saying? Some of them other Hebrew Israelite groups, they'll say, oh, you can't even hit the button on the microwave on Saturday because that's servile work. You can't hit the button on the elevator. You can't turn the oven on. You can't make no coffee. You can't do no servile work on, because you're not supposed to kindle wood, or you're not supposed to make a fire on the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? And in the I.S.U.P.K, we know that's a bunch of bull, man. We know that hitting a button on a microwave is not servile work. We're making us some food. As far as kindling fire, man, you know what I'm saying? If we have to pick up the wood to make a fire, if we need that fire in order to survive, to stay warm, or we're gonna freeze to death, then we're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is not gonna you know what I'm saying? The Most High is not gonna be mad at us, you know what I'm saying, for trying to survive. And that's when it comes down to the scripture that I'm about to pull. We're going to Matthew 12:1. And this scripture, you know what I'm saying, pretty much it was the Sabbath day, and Christ was and the disciples, and Christ and the disciples were all hungry. Well, I'm not sure if Christ was hungry. The scripture don't say that Christ was hungry, but the disciples were hungry. So Christ, he went into the field to start picking some corn for the disciples to eat. And then the Pharisees and Sadducees caught him. And then this is what happened. I'm about to get into what happened. So we're at Matthew 12:1. So mind you, picking corn is pretty much harvesting crops. So a person that says, oh, you have to do no servile work, harvesting crops is servile work. Oh, let's get them. That's what the Pharisees and Sadducees were trying to do. Because every time the Pharisees and Sadducees tried to catch Christ up, they pretty much wanted him dead. They hated Christ. They wanted to find a way to catch him up and be able to stone him and get away with it. And then pretty much say, oh, that's the one, y'all, that's y'all so-called king. Or that's y'all king. He died righteous. We killed him, and we were righteously so, if he's the man so much. But they couldn't get him. They'll never be able to get him. They never were able to get him, and that's pretty. I mean, until the day where his own people gave him up, but that's another story. You know what I'm saying? But and we think that's not another story. You know what I'm saying? That's the main story. You know what I'm saying? The water took Yahweh Shai for doing that because you know what I'm saying. He paved the way. He showed perfect brotherhood, but I guess that's sidetracking. Let me get back to what Christ was doing in the field with the crops. So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 1. At that time, Yahushua went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were an hungered, and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. Verse 2. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. Verse 3. But he said unto them, Have ye not read what David did when he was hungered, and they that were with him? So he's pretty much Christ cut. They try to cut Christ, and Christ is cutting them about what happened. If they love the law so much, they don't know about the spirit of the law. That's what Christ did for us. He brought the spirit of the law. The Pharisees and Sadducees, they were gung-ho on stoning people and killing their own brothers and sisters because of the letter of the law. But the spirit of the law is brotherhood. The spirit of the law is loving the Most High and loving your brother. And right here, Christ saying, have you not read what David did when he was and hungered and they were with him? I'm going to keep going. Verse 4, how he entered into the house of God and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests? Or have ye, so he's saying, you didn't read when David ate that showbread? The showbread was only supposed to be for the priests. But David, David is the one that had the most highest heart. You know what I'm saying? It's like not had the most highest heart, but he the most high favored David. And David did something that was unlawful, but David was hungry, and the showbread was the only thing that was available to him and the people that were with him. So the priests allowed it, and David ate the showbread. You know, that's the spirit of the law. David wasn't trying to defy the priests and eat the showbread because he wanted to know what it tastes like. He was hungry. That's what Christ is saying. I'm gonna keep going. Verse 5. Or have ye not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? Verse 6. But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. Verse 7. But if ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy and not sacrifice. Yea, would not have condemned the guiltless. Verse 8. For the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath day. I'm going to keep going, you know what I'm saying, because there's a little bit more on this. Okay, and then it says, verse 9, and when he was departed thence, he went into their synagogue. Verse 10, and behold, there was a man which had his hand withered, and they asked him, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath days? That they might accuse him. So pretty much, they're asking Christ, we already, the man had his hand all withered up and dying. His hand was dying. And he asked them, Christ, we know you heal, but that's the work that you do. But can you do this work on the Sabbath? My hand is messed up. Then I'm going to keep going. Verse 11, and he said unto them, What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold on it and lift it out? Verse 12, how much then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days. There you have it. Christ said it's lawful to do well on the Sabbath days. Like I was saying, if you gotta work, work. You So we're in hell. But as far as the sheep analogy that Christ said, if you got a herd of sheep and one of your sheep fall into a pit, trying to get that sheep out of the pit so it lives and you have a complete herd is pretty much servile work, is it not? It's hard work, it's manual labor, and it's working in the end for your profit. Your herd of sheep is how you make your living. You know what I'm saying? Why? If just because the Sabbath day you're going to leave that sheep in there, now you got to do what you got to do, man. And then it goes on to say at the end, you know what I'm saying? It is lawful to do well on the Sabbath day. You know what I'm saying? To do well. We usually go to camp on the Sabbath day, on Saturday. That's the day we go out and cry aloud and spare none. You know what I'm saying? That's hard work. That's hard priest work. But it's doing well. It's doing what our Father wants us to do. You know what I'm saying? It's doing the work of the Lord. But it's not unlawful. We're doing well on the Sabbath day. We're working. We're carrying camp equipment. We're driving around. We're holding shamar. We're handing out flyers. We're handing out food. We're handing out clothes. We're teaching on a podium. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of work, and we're doing it for a long time. But we're doing well. We're doing what the Most High wants. It's okay. It's when you start trying to have the love of money and trying to get an extra profit on the Sabbath. That's when it becomes a transgression, man. You got to respect the Sabbath. You got to keep the Sabbath, and you got to keep it holy. So you're not supposed to do any servile work. But there you have it, man. That's the Sabbath, the seventh day. Now we're going to get into the high holy days. The high holy days are actually, you know what I'm saying, referred to as Sabbaths themselves, days of rest. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I brought that out already, but Sabbath comes from the Hebrew word Shabbat, which means rest. But yeah, now we're going to get into the high holy days. High holy days can be found in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23. So let's get to it. We actually have a high holy day tomorrow, the opening of Purim. But as I'm going to get into in this class, like I was just saying, some high holy days are actually Sabbaths, and others are just, you know what I'm saying, where the congregation observes and pretty much comes together as a family. You know what I'm saying? Where we congregate as a nation, but they're not in the actual. They are in the scriptures, some of our high holy days, but they're not in the book of Leviticus to be observed as a Sabbath. And I'm going to go over that right now. So the list of the high holy days that are Sabbaths, I'll say it. Okay, so of course we have the Sabbath, the seventh day of the week. Then the first is the Passover. The Passover is the most important of the high holy days. The Passover is when we remember where the Most High, you know, saying He wiped out our enemy. He killed the firstborn male out of everything in Egypt, just because, you know what I'm saying, he was showing, he was on their necks. He was showing them that they had to pretty much give us a day off. When Pharaoh didn't want to be lenient to the children of Israel, you know, that's what the Most High did to the not Egyptians, but yeah, the Egyptians. They were the Egyptians. The oppressors did. The Most High had all of them killed. The firstborn of humans, the firstborn of cattle, sheep, donkeys, even insects, and birds. At the firstborn of everything, the angels killed them. I'm saying we remember that. Then after the Passover is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's pretty much when we eat unleavened bread for 7 days, in respect of the time when we were escaping from Egypt. We were escaping from that captivity, and we couldn't wait for our food to be made properly. So the bread takes time to rise, so we have that fluffy bread, but we didn't have that. We didn't even have enough time for our bread to rise, so we had to eat it flat. So that's why we observe the Feast of Unleavened Bread. I'm going to read partially in the scriptures, how these are Sabbaths. But I'm just going over the list. Next is the Feast of First Fruits. The Feast of First Fruits, you know what I'm saying, where pretty much the Most High got his sacrifice. We gave sacrifice to the priest, and that's for the Most High. Then the next is the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets, pretty much, and this is to commemorate when Israel, you know what I'm saying, moved according to hearing trumpets in the middle of the town. So it was a trumpet for this. It was a trumpet for when the king arrived. It was a trumpet for when visitors arrived. It was a trumpet for when we went to war. It was a trumpet for, it was a different sound of the trumpet. And Israel knew how to move and pretty much organize, almost like when you hear an alarm or like a storm, like a tornado alert, a tornado alarm or something like that. We pretty much knew what it was and what to do. This was the sound of a trumpet. And we have trumpets for everything almost. That's the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. Then we have the Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement is also, you know what I'm saying, it's a high holy day. These are called holy convocations. I'm going to get into that momentarily. But these holy convocations are convocations found in the book of Leviticus 23. I'm going to get into that. These are high holy days that we have to follow. And on the Day of Atonement, so we have to afflict our souls to show the love that we love the Most High. We afflict our souls by not eating any food or drinking any water or any beverage, anything, no food or drink for 24 hours, sundown to sundown. That's the Day of Atonement. Then the Feast of Tabernacles. The Feast of Tabernacles is when we live in, we remember that we used to dwell in booths. Booths meaning little tents, because that's how we had to live in the wilderness. We had to live in little tents. You know what I'm saying? The Feast of Tabernacles is we still observe the feast, you know what I'm saying, but we don't have to necessarily dwell in booths, because as you can see right now, I'm in a booth. You know what I'm saying? We live in booths. You know what I'm saying? Our apartments are booths. We might think that we're doing it big if we have our own house, but pretty much compared to, you know what I'm saying, how we're supposed to be living as royal princes, the princesses of the power, our household is a little booth. So we're in hell right now. We're living in booths, but that's the Feast of Tabernacles. And then the next two that we celebrate as a nation in the ISUPK are the Feast of Dedication and Purim. Now, those last two are not in the book of Leviticus. Those are pretty much just memorials. The Feast of Dedication is a memorial for when we remember that the temple was taken over by heathens. So we had got them heathens out of our temple. You know what I'm saying? We had to go to war with them for a bit. We got them up. They were in our temple defiling it, eating pork and having orgies. You know what I'm saying? Things that our oppressors do, heathens do, man. We know they do that type of stuff. So they were in our temple, defiling our temple. We got them out of there, and then we rededicated the temple. We washed it up. We cleaned it. Got everything new. So on the Feast of Dedication, which is Hanukkah, you know what I'm saying? The oppressor likes to talk about 8 days on his menorah and 8 days of Hanukkah. No, that's not what it is. It's Hanukkah. And on Hanukkah, we remember how we were getting our oppressors out of our temple. And it took that 8 days to get them out. And we fought with them. You know what I'm saying? And we rededicated our temple. So in the ISUPK, we bring things to the school. Like we rededicate our temple as the school. We might bring a new menorah or a new goblet or something new for the podium, or just bring something new that the school can use. We bring these things to rededicate our temple, to pretty much show respect to the priesthood. And then lastly, Purim. Purim is what we're celebrating tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? If you stay tuned into the ISUPK classes, you'll be able to see the service. It's tomorrow at sundown, which is around 7 o'clock, at 7 o'clock Central or 7 o'clock, whatever time zone you're in. We're going to pretty much talk about Purim. Purim is pretty much commemorating a sister for what she did for her nation. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much showing her respect to that and celebrating for these accomplishments that we've done, man, as a nation and our sisters, man. So those are the lists. I just went down the list, but let me go back to the scriptures so we can see pretty much how these high holy days are Sabbaths of the Lord. So I'm going to go to Leviticus 23 and 2. All right, this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 2. Well, I'll start at 1. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, verse 2, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. I'm going to keep going. Verse 3, 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. Verse 4. So the Sabbath is actually a holy convocation, but we went over the Sabbath already. So the rest of the holy convocations I'm going to go over now. Verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. All right, verse 5. And the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. So pretty much it's saying what I just went over. All of those holy convocations that I just went over is in Leviticus 23. And it tells you not only to observe and to keep them holy and how to observe them, but yeah, how to observe them, what to do on that particular day or that particular length of span. How many days do you observe the high holy day? What do you do on the opening? What do you do on the closing? And why this day is special? That's what Leviticus 23 tells you. So I'm going to parse through it and pretty much give us the important parts of Leviticus. Pretty much, I'm going to go to the part where the few parts where it tells us that we're supposed to be observing these and keeping them sacred forever. So I'm going to go to Leviticus 23 and, well, I'm not going to skip over that because even in the high holy days, it says we're not supposed to do any servile work. We're not supposed to do any servile work on the Sabbath, but on the high holy days also. You know what I'm saying? They're Sabbath, they're referred to as Sabbath in this book. So we're not supposed to do any servile work on the high holy days also. I'm going to go to that right now. This is in Leviticus 20 and 30. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 30. It's like Leviticus chapter 23, verse 30. And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. Verse 31. Ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations and all your dwellings. Now, this particular instance right here where we're saying this, it's talking about the Day of Atonement. I'll go up a few. I'll go up to 27 or 26. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 26. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be a holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Verse 28. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make atonement for you before the Lord your God. Verse 29. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. So pretty much it's saying on this day you don't do no work and you afflict your soul. And if you don't afflict your soul, you're going to be cut off. Like I was saying with Christ in the Sabbath, he was saying this, we have to remember the spirit of the law and not the letter of the law. The spirit of the law says you have to afflict your soul. All Israelites afflict their soul. But say you got a baby, a 2-year-old baby, or an old or elderly man that takes medication and needs to have something on his stomach, or drink some water to take that medication. I'm saying, does he have to go a whole 24 hours without eating? Or does that baby have to go a whole 24 hours without eating? Or say you have a mother that's pregnant, you know what I'm saying, she's with child. Does she have to go 24 hours without eating? No, Akim, no Akwakim. We have to remember the letter of this, the spirit of the law. You know what I'm saying? We're doing this, we're observing these feasts and high holy days and the Sabbath to pretty much show the Lord we love him and show brotherhood to our brotherhood and sisterhood amongst our nation. That's all it's about, man. That's all the law, statutes, and commandments is about. Showing the Lord we love him and showing the brothers and sisters that we love them too. Brotherhood and sisterhood. So we don't have to kill ourselves in doing this stuff. So we don't have to not go to work if we're gonna get fired. And if you know how to get out of that jam, then go to the Lord's Passover instead of working. I'm saying if you get counsel on these things, like if you're gonna miss the Lord's Passover because you gotta work, then get counsel on it. Might need to get another job, but you know what I'm saying, we understand the oppressor is the devil. So you know what I'm saying, the priest that gives you counsel on that matter might say, you know what I'm saying, hey, you'll be there in spirit. You know what I'm saying? There's a brother and there's a few brothers in there's more than a few. There's brothers in the UPK, there's priests in the UPK that are behind bars, and they celebrate the Lord's Passover through a phone screen or a computer screen. You know what I'm saying? We know the oppressor is the devil, man. We know we're in hell, but we do what we can. But yeah, back to these high holy days. So yeah, not only did it say that we're not supposed to afflict, we're not supposed to do any servile work, but at the end it said, "It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations and all your dwellings." Forever, man. You know what I'm saying? All your generations, throughout all your dwellings, everywhere you live, throughout all the generations, in the future generations of Israel, for the end of time, forever. We're gonna have to do the Day of Atonement. We're gonna have to keep the Passover. We're gonna have to do these things. I'm gonna go over a couple more that pretty much say forever. We're gonna go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 21. This is talking about the Feast of First Fruits. And this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 21. "And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day, that it may be an holy convocation unto you. Ye shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations." Pretty much that's the Feast of First Fruits saying the same thing. No servile work be done on this day, man. These are holy convocations. Let's see what the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary says about the word convocation. Because that's the beauty of this book. Remember, this is part of our Israelite starter book. If you can get this book, by all means get it. If you got the coin to get it, get it. You need these books. Of course, you need a Bible. Of course, you need an Apocrypha. But this book is very important too. A Compact Bible Dictionary, Zondervan. It's about $13 online plus shipping and handling. We're looking at convocation. All right. Convocate, the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary definition of convocation. Used in the expression holy convocation, but it is sometimes used alone. A convocation was a religious festival during which no work could be done. There you have it. A celebration where no work can be done. So the Sabbath, we don't do no work. And on these high holy days, we don't do no work. And now that comes to mind, this is going to be my last scripture. But you know what I'm saying? Like I was saying in the beginning of the class, you know what I'm saying? We're in hell, man. In this captivity, not only does our oppressor try to teach us that the Sabbath is on the first day of the week, you know what I'm saying, which is Sunday and not Saturday, but they try to have us celebrate other, you know what I'm saying, holidays is what we call them. These other these pagan holidays, man. They try to have us celebrate things that are not in this Bible, man. These holy convocations that I just read about, these are the only things that black and brown people should be celebrating as far as a holy day. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Your Valentine's Day was just passed, your Christmas, your Halloween, and all this other crap, Memorial Day, and all that other stuff, man. 4th of July, you're supposed to be celebrating that stuff, man. Thanksgiving, you're supposed to celebrate Thanksgiving. And I'm about to bring out why. This is the last precept I'm about to bring. We're going to Amos, chapter 5 and 21. There you go. All right. So this is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. This is the Lord speaking through this prophet. This is how the Lord feels about your Christmas holiday ham and your Thanksgiving turkeys and whatnot. How your feast days. He hates the smell of your solemn assemblies. He's not going to do what? I'm going to read it again. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Verse 22. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Verse 23. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols. That's Lord pretty much saying he don't want to have all that singing and dancing and gathering around a turkey table for no Thanksgiving, man. He ain't tell you to celebrate Thanksgiving, so you shouldn't be celebrating Thanksgiving. Besides, Thanksgiving is a celebration of when the oppressor killed our brothers and sisters. Pretty much the oppressor tricked us and killed us. That's all it is. But yeah, man, there you have it. The high holy days and feast days. I'm saying, you again, make sure you stay tuned to your ISUPK classes in whatever zone you are, because tomorrow is the Feast of Purim. I'm gonna go over that right now. But before I go over that in the announcements, I'm gonna remind all the Akim and Akwathian to pay your tithes, man. Pay your tithes to the men above you, because that alone is a law, statute, and commandment. It says in the book of I'm gonna read it in the announcements, but in the scriptures it says pay 10% of your any increase that you get to the priest. I'm saying Commander YAHANNA, he uses that 10% to help with the nation. He's not using that 10% to buy Louis luggage and Air Force One or not Air Force One, but you know what I'm saying, Lear jets or whatnot. He's using that to buy things that so the children of Israel be okay in time of peril. He's going to farms and trying to get land. He's looking for land. But yeah, there you have it though. We'll get these announcements and then we're gonna close. ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers, found in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. And the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, Purim, 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month, Thursday, the 22nd of February, and Friday, the 23rd of February, 2024, can be found in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 to 31. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And that concludes security announcements. All right, Akim, with that, I'm going to close out. Salaki, I'm going to say Imadium, which means to stand. I give a courtesy salute to the brothers, men of Israel, Imadium Shabbat, Imadium, Barak, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah, Barakatah, Gadi Matah, Charles Turner Faith Sisters, men of Israel, courtesy salute to the sisters, Imadium Shabbat, Imadium, Barak, Yahweh Shema Alatan Bashim, Yahweh Shah, Gadi Matah, dismissed.